Well, how about next time you get a board that can handle the Neutron style? Later, Nick.
Don't
Roar.
lie, Nico.
Give me another round of everything I've just ordered. You should.
Alright,
Oh
so...
yeah, I need that.
Oh, go
Okay.
ahead.
No, I was gonna bring up grilling.
Oh. Yeah, alright. So we got archive of our own. Jimmy. Jimmy colon. Scenes from Neutron's deathbed. Jimmy opened damp eyes and stared blearily from his bed. From nothing, shapes began to form. Old friends, Cindy and Libby. Bulby. He noticed a sweet autumnal there we go, smell wafting from the window. Leaves and water fermenting. His friends had grown old. Cindy and Libby sat on wooden chairs, backs straight, positions and movements harmonized. They had even begun to look like each other. Libby was distracted picking at something on her fingernail, but Cindy had noticed Jimmy was awake. She observed him, waiting for him to make a sound. Jimmy decided to stay silent a while longer. Bulby's remaining hair was slicked back into two greasy streams. Large rings bearing semi-precious stones constricted his corpulent fingers. His eyes shone dully. His now yellowed teeth stuck out as they always had. Even now he smiled. It was good of him to come all this way, Jimmy thought to himself. But there was an absence. Jimmy cleared his throat and spat the yellowed sputum. All eyes clicked onto him. He began to speak. "Where is Carl?" he croaked, smoothing out the flaccid curl of his hair with his bony fingers. "Goddard went to get him from the farm," Cindy responded. "He should be here any second." "I see." They were all silent. The sunfire of late autumn light had caught for an instant by the smooth of the window. The room was enveloped in a warm light. The room was sparse, completely empty except for the bed, some chairs, thrift store art, and a picture of Hugh and Judy Neutron, both beaming broadly. A painted wooden duck beside the frame. Suddenly a rush of wind. All eyes shifted. Through the window, Goddard could be seen descending, long propeller blades whirring above him. On his back, a large old man. Gray, red hair, and the color of dying coral. Jimmy's face broke into a barely perceptible smile. The noise ceased, and after a moment, Carl entered the room. Goddard in tow. Hey, Jimmy!" "Carl, old friend. It's good to see you, everyone. Or it's good to see you, everyone. I need to talk to Carl for a moment. Would you mind giving us some privacy?" All but Jimmy, Carl, and Goddard shuffled out of the room. Jimmy's smile burst forth. God, I'm having a hard time. "How are you? It's good to see you. It's been years." I'm good, Jimmy. The farm's good. All the llamas are healthy." He pulled out a croissant from his jacket pocket and began to munch. "That's great, Carl. It's good that after everything that happened, you finally got what you wanted." The room grew silent. After a few seconds, Carl spoke. "Jimmy, you still don't blame yourself, do you? I mean, after all, you didn't. If you hadn't been there, a lot more people would have died." Again, silence. Jimmy's smile dropped. "And if it wasn't for me, would the Twonkies have even come back in the first place?" "Jimmy, you saved the world more times than I can count. Your inventions were brilliant, they really were. I can't believe you quit. From what they tell me, you don't make anything anymore. All you have left is Goddard." A twinkle in Jimmy's eye. "Carl, what if I told you that I actually never quit inventing? Goddard, activate protocol Gilgamesh Alpha." Bark, bark. The room began to whir. The drab, faded wallpaper was replaced by steel plates and twisting, crisscrossed wires. Meters spun around and oscillated. Exhaust vents whistled. Great vats of translucent green slime slid into view. Carl's face blanched bone white. In the center of the room, a cylindrical chrome-plated pedestal rose from the floor. Atop it had a helmet. Its shape was an almost perfect hemisphere, the bottom filled in and padded with red velvet. It was studded with lights like shining gems, inscribed with copper-filled wedges. Dials set in a neat row, all set to 0, awaiting their guiding hand. Jimmy, what is all of this? Carl had finished his first croissant and was now eating his second, terrified. An old light flooded Jimmy's eyes, one that Carl had not seen for decades, but there was something different. Maybe it was that it shone from an old man incapacitated in a bed, but the light felt inappropriate, profane, perhaps unholy. Goddard, place the Vividome on my head. Goddard heeded his master, gently placing the implement on his head. To support himself, he rested the heavy headpiece on the bed frame. Sheen was a wild man. He was totally vital. He never stopped. Jimmy's still shining eyes brimmed with tears. When we lost him, I had my final brain blast. If death could extinguish a flame like that, it does not deserve its dominion over man. Since then I've worked in secret, designing a device that will free us all from the shackles of mortality. Croissant crumbs dropped from Carl's gaping mouth. Jimmy, I don't think you can. Carl, help me turn it on, for old time's sake. But Carl did not stir. Fine. If you are paralyzed by your fear of death, so be it. I will conquer the enemy the only way I know how. Once I activate the Vividome, it will only take 7 seconds for my mortality to be cured. My only regret is that he never had the chance to use it. Goddard, activate the Vividome. Goddard stretched out his neck and twisted the knobs with his metallic beak. Jimmy's pupils dilated. He began to scream. Pain, unlike anything he had ever felt before, flowed through every vein, every capillary of his weakened body. His eyes shot around in terror like a wild beast caught in a fatal snare. His gaping mouth began to scream, and then the screaming stopped, replaced by a forced, choked exhale of breath. And after 5 seconds, Jimmy Neutron collapsed. The Vividome fell from his head and shattered on the floor. Cindy, Libby, and Bulby burst in to see Jimmy slumped over, and Carl's wide eyes filled with terror. A stream of drool began to form on Jimmy's bottom lip. His breathing was shallow. The room reverted slowly, steel replaced with faded wallpaper. Carl was paralyzed, his eyes still screaming, his mouth still agape. In his shock, all he could sense was the sweet autumnal smell wafting from the window, leaves and water fermenting. What do we think of that? What do we think of this story?
You fear death, sir.
I'd like some
This
some
is
commentary.
Well, I'm a bit biased. I think this is the funniest one, especially with the whole "you fear death, loser" quote you came up with.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I think the writing, considering how short it is and how it's basically a fucking joke or a shitpost, I think is decently well written.
Yeah, I would agree.
Except was Jimmy trying to kill himself, or like was he actually trying to be immortal? Like was he trying to take like his put morality in his or mortality into his own hands?
I would assume he was trying to really become immortal. That's what I think is happening. That's what it sounds like, anyways. It sounds like he was trying to become immortal, and because at the end he's not actually dead. Like. Something that they point out at the end is after 5 seconds, Jimmy Neutron collapsed, the Vividome fell from his head and shattered on the floor. Cindy, Libby, and Bulby burst in to see Jimmy slumped over, and Carl's wide eyes filled with terror. But up here he said, where is it? Yeah. Choked exhale of breath. And then down here it says, a stream of drool began to form on Jimmy's bottom lip. His breathing was shallow. So he's still alive. He was still breathing.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe the thing worked. We don't know, because the story never continued. It left off on a very open-ended version, I think. Or a very open-ended route. It could have worked. It could have just made him... It could have worked, but not in the way he wanted to. Maybe it made him like a fucking vegetable or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it might have just killed his brain or something. Or, like, killed certain parts of his brain, like lobotomized him. Maybe it like separated his soul from his body and now his soul is immortal. I mean, you never know. Like, this is very very interpretive, I'd say. Can't really tell exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've read this story a couple times, like just as jokes over the years. For some reason, this one was the one that we all enjoyed, and I don't think I've ever actually noticed that Jimmy didn't die in the end. I think this is the first time I've actually noticed that. Because if something comes up in the future,
Yeah, I thought he died the first time we read it.
I don't think he did. I think we just didn't really pay attention. God, what was that? 2022 when we read that?
It might have been.
Yeah, because this came out in 2018, so it could have been. It was during COVID, I'm pretty sure, like the end of COVID, I think.
Yeah.
And I had already started university, and I remember I had gone to campus at that point, which meant that it had to have been after 2020, because I didn't go to campus until 2021 with lockdowns and everything. Yeah, that's crazy that it's been that long. It's impressive, really. And this story is very underrated. It's only got 275 views, and we're probably a solid 15 of those.
Yeah,
I think this is one we've probably gone back to every few months for like the last 4 years. So, because I feel like you just always bring it up every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm biased towards the story. I just think it's really funny. Like I said, when you said the whole "you fear death, Weezer,"
which is, I think I came up with that just because I couldn't remember the actual line. Because it had been, at that point, it had been like half a year since we had read it. You fear death, Weezer. That's basically what he said.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, but I was gonna say that maybe the story is trying to like highlight Jimmy's arrogance, I guess. Like by him trying to be immortal, he just like made himself a prisoner of his own being and actually wants to die rather than be eternal or immortal like he, originally desired.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think there's definitely, well, like they say down here, like the thing about the light being different, it's profane, unholy. It definitely feels that way. That like Jimmy Neutron he became twisted in his motivations, his intentions.
Yeah.
Which it's fucking. I'm looking right now at the list of Jimmy Neutron fan fictions. It's crazy. People are still fucking writing these. Like now. This one came out today. No. How did that one come out tomorrow?
Wait, what do you mean?
One of the fucking stories on here came out tomorrow. How does that work?
Are they in a different time zone?
Possibly, yeah. I guess they could be over in like Asia or something, or Europe.
Yeah, something like that.
The 29th of March. It's the 28th.
Came out on the 28th, been reading it since the 27th.
Alright, let's read this one. What is this? This is Jimmy Neutron and Cindy romance. 903 words. I'm just gonna kind of... Oh, I don't... Okay, never mind. I'm not reading that. I lied. I'm not reading that.
Why not?
Something about Jimmy Neutron and Cindy getting sexual gratification from playing chess. I don't want to read that.
I think you should read it.
I don't think I want to. There's a lot of...
It's like some Food Wars type shit, though.
What?
What if it's like Food Wars, like... Or actually, no, you know the South Park episode where Randy's cooking? And then he's on the phone, fucking describing how he's cooking. He's like, oh yeah, you glazed that pan. You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of.
I think something like that.
Scene before. Maybe. I guess, yeah, fine. We'll read it. Okay.
Yeah.
Please, she begged. Oh, please, she begged. No. She whined. Please, she reiterated. He repeated, slightly annoyed. I said no. Just this once, her eyes pleaded. He shot her a look, as if we both don't already know how fabricated that measurement is. She sneered. Is not. Right, he deadpanned. Because once almost never turns into multiple requests. He sarcastically quipped, typing away at his keyboard. She let out an irritated huff. Oh, come on, Neutron, you know what I mean. She sat closer to his side of the couch, his eyes scrunched into a slight scowl as he questioned. Neutron? He casually lifted up her left ring hand as to demonstrate his point. Really? His unamused expression shifted slightly as he continued. Aren't we a little old for sophomoric name-calling? She rolled her eyes and said, It's your name. Since when do you hate when I use it? He lifted a sly eyebrow as he retorted smoothly, Since it also became yours. She slightly smirked. Well, do you prefer my personal favorite? He immediately regretted asking. Like? Frankenhead, King Cranium, Sputron. Bold of you to make insults when asking for a favor, Jimmy gave her a knowing look. Losing her wit, she begged once more. Well, I'm sorry, she pointed to the table as she was previously sitting at with her laptop open and her stacks upon stacks of manila files. This latest case has me stressed to the max. She rubbed her craned neck as she sighed heavily. It's been keeping me up all hours of the night. It feels like... Her eyes traveled to her deflated form as they softened slightly at her truth. Trust me, I noticed, he said gently. Her head lowered in a pout as he rolled his eyes in defeat. Power play indeed. But he was a sucker to see his wife suffer. Without another word, Jimmy let out a soft sigh as he closed his laptop and shifted it to the table in front of him. He turned slightly to his right and angled himself just enough to place his hands gently on her shoulders as his thumbs firmly dug into the back of her neck. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. Sorry about that. My allergies have been a little wild lately. Everything's warming up here now, and all the sage is letting out pollen. All right. She felt a sudden sense of calm as she felt his hands travel down her back. His grip was just firm enough, but not too rough, from all the heavy machinery he lifted over the years. She could feel the callous tips of his fingers, but she didn't mind. They actually felt good to touch. His hands always had been. Oh, she let out a slight whimper. Jesus Christ. And dreamily admitted, Oh, James, I could fall asleep right here. His heart quickened at the use of his real name as he kept his rhythm going and quipped sternly. If you came to bed at a reasonable hour, maybe you wouldn't be as sleep deprived as you are now. Her face hardened as she slightly turned. Says the man who spends countless hours tinkering in a tin roof box for 12 hours at a time. He wasn't offended, as maybe he once would have been. Instead, the genius smartly replied, Excuse me, ma'am, may I remind you that tin roof box is our bread and butter? Or has the glamorous glitter of the courtroom made you forget that fact? Cindy, however, was offended. Hey, she barked, finally turning around and interrupting his magical spell he had on her just moments ago. You know damn well I bring in just as much bread and butter to the table as you do. She poked him hard in the chest. He raised a calm eyebrow and said, I never claimed you didn't. He motioned to her to turn back around. Now turn. You are such a pain in the... A sharp squeeze from his hands over her shoulders made her cry out in desperation. I'm not saying that. I'm not crying out in desperation.
Please.
No, you do it. Somebody forgot to put
For the viewers.
Where's the line at?
Right here.
You're such a pain in the ass. Sharp squeeze from the hands over his shoulders made her cry on this wrist. With the O?
Yeah.
So I gotta... like that?
I didn't even hear it. It fucking peaked your mic.
He's like...
It keeps peaking your mic.
You're such a pain in the ass. A sharp squeeze from his hands over her shoulders made her cry out in desperation. Oh!
You want me to stop? He asked cunningly. Please don't, she retorted in a quick, small tone. Oh, God.
Please don't.
This is fucking sick. I hate reading shit like this.
God, this dialogue is making me envision those fucking gangster versions of Bugs Bunny gripping Lola's ass.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. We're in book talk. We're on book talk.
We are not on
Oh, hell
fucking
no.
book talk. This is not book talk. This is still better than
Yeah.
book talk.
Side
All right.
note,
See.
All right. A slight
Right
smile
now?
spread to his lips as she suggested devilishly, "You know, there are other ways I could help you relieve your stress." His hand slid down. Oh, wait, no. Was that hers or his? I think it's hers. His hand slid down her arms as his deep voice tickled her ear from behind. Her eyes widened as she turned to face his sly, smoldering grin. A sparkle in her eye glistened in the low living room light, and she whispered, "You mean?" "Mm-hmm," he said. He nodded confidently. He stood slowly as she moved to the side table and pulled out a small wooden checkered box. Her heart leapt out of her chest as she sat up straight, ready for the stress to be relieved. "Are we going to do this here?" she asked in an excited whisper. He gave her a smug look, taking his seat back on the couch as he pulled out the desired wooden pieces from the box. "Is there any other place you'd like to admit defeat?" His wicked smile grew. A flash of challenge burned in her eyes as she retorted with a smirk that made his knees weak. "We'll see about that," her smile grew. "Prepared to get pulverized, Neutron." He let out a sly chuckle. "You're on, Miss Neutron." As they set up the board, she could feel the stress melt from the love of her husband's hands. As they watched each other carefully in contentment and anticipation from each other's next move. Some people got off in the bedroom. Who knew they'd get off to chess? But Cindy loved every minute, and so did he. Author's note, thanks for reading, smiley face.
Well, see, that one wasn't even bad.
Yeah, I guess. The future,
Anything, I thought the
future
ending was
Jimmy
kind of
Neutron
sweet.
fan fiction. You said what?
I said, if anything, I thought the ending was kind of sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely more like a fluff story. I think more wholesome. I guess it literally had the tag fluff and humor, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. What did you want them to just have?
No, I didn't want
Dirty,
them to
hot, steamy, raw,
That's not what
passionate sex.
Shut up. That's not what I wanted them to do. If it had gone that way, I would have immediately clicked out of the story.
He stuffed his Neutron into her books.
His name's Neutron.
He
not
brain
Neutron.
blasted
Come
in
on.
her Neutron.
Yeah,
Nico.
she calls him nerd. She calls him Neutron in the show, though.
Oh, you're right. God, it's been so long
Fake fan.
It's been okay. It's been fucking like 18 years since I've seen that show.
He rapidly and passionately broke his hips into her. Right as he was about to climax, he blurted,
Goddard, use the hip thrustinator. My hips have grown weary.
Goddard, dispense plan B.
No, not the lubricant. That's plan C.
Not the coat hanger, that's plan D. Okay, time for some Loud House.
No.
Some loud sus.
No, God, no. I'm not doing Loud House.
But
franchise
Jager,
I refuse to touch.
But we have a series that's like, was it like 10 times longer than the Bible?
More than that. It's roughly 40 times longer than the Bible.
40?
Yeah.
Lord. Let's read it.
What was the Loud House video you sent me where it's like something loud? What was his name?
Oh, the self-insert?
Yeah, what was his name? It was like lay something.
I don't know. It's in Warwalk Hours. Posted it in there.
Let me look. That one was pretty funny.
Yeah, you show that video.
I'm sure if people are watching fan fiction readings, they've probably seen that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, I've only seen it on
more
TikTok.
Content.
Yes, content. Bring
line right now. I
Hey,
have
Mom.
various
Hey, Dad. I
qualities of chicken sitting in front of me, and you can really tell the difference between the slop and the not
fucking
slop.
warning is... Why does he get a warning? He gets a warning before he shows up. I don't think you sent me the original one, though, that has his name in it.
But
Here we
if
go,
it
here we
shows
go.
a video,
It's working, I think. Fuck off. I don't care. Where's the audio? There it is.
Math bowl. We just took our practice SATs. My verbal score went up 200 points.
Mine too. So now it's 200.
Behold the fruits of my ceramic labors. 13 full place settings.
I made the all-star team.
We cleared the entire interstate from here to Flint.
I tutored some new citizens in English, then registered them to vote.
I helped solve the city's parking crisis.
Fucking...
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Leffrey Loud.
Leffrey Loud.
I solved world hunger, cured cancer. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I also freed Palestine. So
and freed Palestine.
what do you think about that one? Yo. Mom.
Wow, guys, this is all so amazing. We're so proud of you.
What say we take a little break and get our ice cream on, huh?
No.
He just
No, fuck
immediately
that.
crashes out.
No, I'm done. What do you mean, oh, good job, guys. We're so proud. That's not enough for us. That's not nearly enough. Why can't we get some praise from you guys? Some real praise. We do so much, try our hardest, and give it our all, and at the end of the day, this is still all we get? No, fuck that. No. We deserve better. We deserve fucking better. I'm not gonna put up with this shit anymore. You guys think a simple, oh, I'm proud of you, oh, good job, is enough for us? After everything we did! Mom! That's clearly not enough praise for us!
I just noticed
I cured cancer!
his
Okay.
ears are not equal on his
I
head.
cured fucking cancer! Luna tutored! Lincoln
He was born
fucking
with
cleaned up a whole
birth
goddamn
defect.
interstate!
But he cured
Fucking A!
cancer.
And
What a
fucking
guy.
Luann solved the city's parking crisis! And you think a fucking all proud of you is enough for us? Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
So dumb.
Hey, Mom and Dad. I passed.
Hey mom.
Hey, Mom.
It's me,
Hey,
Leffrey
Dad.
Loud.
I cured cancer. Mom.
Hey, Mom and Dad. I passed finishing school.
Beneficial
God.
for
He
eggheads.
put his
Girls.
uh,
This egghead knows history.
Oh, yeah.
He
Maybe
put
I
his, what do
should
you
become a
mean? Let's be
Wonderbolt.
Loud's part
Just
of
because you've
that.
got wings doesn't mean you can
Yeah,
fly.
sorry.
Girls, you're
I
better
haven't
able
seen
to
that
just get
episode
off the
that he shows
ground.
up in.
Girls.
Where does he show up at? Oh, can you not zoom videos forward on this? You can't. What the
Can't you see? You're making Fluttershy uncomfortable!
fucking them like him flying into the
baby.
No! I got this, Fluttershy! I got this shit! Leave it to Leffrey! Leave it to Leffrey! Fucking Loud! Go sit back
What
and
was that?
relax.
What was
How about
that?
you just sit back there and look pretty? How about that? I got this. Big Leffrey's
I
got
got
this
this.
shit. Go sit back there, babe. I got this shit.
He fucking teleports her.
What
Where
are
did he
you
take
doing? Can't you see? You're making your friend uncomfortable! Fuck! They said it 100 fucking times!
The sex dungeon.
Fuck! Can't
That
you
was-
see?
What like sounds like Golden
Making
Freddy right now.
Fluttershy
What?
uncomfortable!
Sounds like Golden Freddy.
does.
Fuck! They tried telling you 500 fucking times, and you guys just kept fucking talking over her. Nah, not on my fucking watch. Both
Not
of
on
you,
my
shut the fuck up. I'm fucking tired of hearing this shit. fuck's sake! Jesus Christ, man! All you guys fucking do is talk over your friend, and you guys want them to stand up for themselves more often? And this is what you do! You bulldoze the shyest friend of the fucking group. Her name is Fluttershy, not Flutter Confident, you fucking imbeciles! This argument doesn't fucking matter! It doesn't fucking matter! Even remotely! Shut the fuck up! By the way, do you still want to go on that date we talked about earlier? Yeah? Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Fuck
All right,
yeah,
I'll see,
dude.
what, 3 o'clock tomorrow? Whew. All right.
I like that he becomes so reasonable when talking to his girl, his young lady.
Her name is Fluttershy, not Flutter Confident.
Not Flutter Confident. Fucking Leffrey Loud. What a guy. What a guy. You think that that's like... I hope that that's an adult that lives in his own house and is screaming into his mic to make those videos. But something tells me it's like a teenager. Like, imagine hearing your son just fucking crash out. Calling himself Leffrey Loud.
I hope he's some like college student living at home with his family.
I hope he's a college student living in dorms so 25 people hear him. Everybody on his floor heard him.
Could you imagine hearing him fuck you, fuck you.
Her name is Fluttershy, not Flutter Confident. Fuck you.
He's just yelling that, and you hear him from like fucking 3 rooms down.
And then just like after the video's over, you just hear a dude go, "Oh yeah, that's good for TikTok. Let's put this bitch in the computer. Let's throw this bitch."
Now imagine being his roommate, and he's editing that shit, no headphones. Hey, you just keep hearing, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah. All right, Nico, you got any other franchises you want to look at?
Yeah.
What's that?
I do.
What's that?
Do One Piece.
One Piece?
There's a lot of potential there.
Man, that's a wild first one.
Oh, that One Piece.
What the fuck does that have to do with One Piece? It's fucking Marvel characters.
Well, Peter Parker, Tony Stark, Daddy King. Wow.
Yep.
Let's read that one. He definitely won't be put on a list.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Are any of these actually about One Piece? Oh, here's one.
Oh man, this is gonna be some gay shit, huh?
That is 100% some gay shit. Do we read the gay shit?
They allow whatever was between them to develop. How long is it?
866 words.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Alright, I gotta blow my nose again. I'm also gonna get some more drink before we read this, because, why are there so many ones named One Piece that have nothing to do with One Piece and are about Marvel? I'm very confused.
Quickly get our base back up and running. Leave it to us. By the way, Director Chin requests your immediate return to the control tower. Oh, so, what was she like when she asked about me? Was she angry? Oh, dear. I'm finished.
You know, our heat is out in my trailer right now. and like in my house, and the maintenance guy has not come yet to fix it. We need Leffery Loud on the case. I feel like he could fix my heat using a space heater.
Ring, ring, ring. Hey guys,
Hey guys,
it's me, Lefty
I'm
Loud.
here to fix your thermostat. Alright, here we go. Nico, you're gonna have to tell me how accurate this is to the One Piece lore. I've never read it, and I never will. Alright, so, Chapter 1, Unexpected... Wait, is this multiple chapters? No, it's not. Okay, just had to make sure. Chapter 1, Unexpected Feelings. Yay, finally, I can see the island. Luffy's excited voice could be heard as he sat on the head of Sunny and kept looking out. 2 days ago, Nami had told them that they would reach a new island. The only thing that remained unclear was what kind of island it would be. Sanji hoped fervently that it wouldn't be a winter island because winter was the last thing he needed right now. Don't always be so damn loud, Luffy, shouted Zoro angrily from the mast, where he was leaning on the ground and had just been asleep. Still slightly dazed from sleep, he opened his eyes and immediately glared at his captain. Why could this straw-filled head never be calm when Zoro had just such a nice dream? And right at the most interesting part, he was torn out of this wonderful world and brought back down to Earth. The world was really unfair. Let's see. Wait, what? What does Sanji sound like? I don't think I've ever heard him talk. Nico?
Fine, babes. I'm gonna be real. Oh, I think I don't know what he really sounds like for the English dub, but
Gnat in my room.
for the sub,
Where the fuck did that little bastard go? There's a gnat in here. Go ahead.
I don't really know how the English one sounds. So I don't really watch it.
Man, fuck it, I'm
But
giving
from
him
what
a
I've
voice.
seen,
Nope, I'm giving him a voice. He'll get...
okay, well, think of it like this. He's a bit stoic. I'll put it like that or whatever. He's like, ah!
Alright.
He'd be doing like a baby voice, kind of. So just think of it like that.
Sanji does?
Yeah, whenever there's a woman involved, he'd be talking all high pitched and shit. Like,
Alright, well, he's getting the Wilcox special. Don't complain. You should have gotten up now anyways. We have to get ready to go ashore. The Smut G? Who the fuck is the Smut G? Is that supposed to be a combination of Smut and Sanji? The Smut G.
Wallahi.
Fucking goddamn. Tried to calm Zoro down and for once gave him a gentle smile, which pulled the ground from under his feet. He just looked at the blonde man in front of him and wondered how such a beautiful person could have such an aggressive temper, which he displayed often enough. Sanji, I'm hungry, I want to eat, shouted Luffy, using his gum-gum powers to propel himself from the figurehead directly to the door of the galley. And Sanji had no choice but to give the hungry captain something between his teeth. Otherwise, he wouldn't rest until they arrived and would probably go to the nearest pub on the island and start a fuss in some way, which they could all do without. And why all this? Just because Luffy wanted something to eat. Sometimes that brat really was just trouble. Yeah, you'll get something. Sometimes he really gets on the last nerve of mine. He had to jokingly address the last sentence to Zoro and then walked towards the galley where he immediately stood at the stove to fill the rubber man's stomach. These are some really interesting adjectives. I know this is like a thing in the show, but it's just... The phrasing that this person is using is odd.
Yeah, they clearly don't like Luffy by referring to him as the brat.
You think so?
Yeah, because Sanji wouldn't call him a brat or think of him as a brat.
I don't know enough about the show.
He has respect for his captain. Well, they would call him an idiot, but not a brat.
Okay. All right.
And then even the way that Zoro and Sanji trained Zoro is off. Like, I know it's a fucking like yaoi fanfic.
Yeah.
But The thing about One Piece is one of the things he likes to mock Zoro for is his fucking hair. He calls him a moss head, so I don't think the motherfucker would find him attractive.
Yeah.
Not even think, I know, but go on.
Alright. Let's see. Meanwhile, Zoro was still sitting on the floor, leaning against the mast and letting that smile that Shanji had given him sink in. Things had changed between them some time ago, and neither of them really knew when it had started or how it had come about. But that wasn't really important. What was important was that they both liked these changes, and even if they still argued and fought regularly, Zoro could never help but recognize the gleam in those blue eyes, and he was sure that exactly the same feelings could be read in his own eyes. The only question was whether they would ever dare to cross that last border that still stood between them. Neither of them knew if it would work, if they risked it, if they could also end in a huge catastrophe. They both knew that. Dinner is served. Sanji's voice snapped Zoro out of his thoughts, and now only did he realize how long he had been sitting there just staring ahead. While everyone was happily making their way to the galley, Zoro did the same. He rose heavily from the floor, took his swords that had been lying next to him, and fastened them to his waist. Nami-chan, what would you like to drink? Zoro heard the soothing voice of the cook as he had just taken a step into the soothing voice of the cook. Hey, what's wrong, guys? Let's see here. Water will do, thanks, replied Nami, and immediately afterwards, Sanji turned to Robin and asked her the same question. Still had that flirtatious tone that drove Zoro crazy in more than one way. After Robin also expressed her wish, the Smudgy was almost dancing in front of the fridge. Immediately afterwards, the two ladies each had a glass filled with water and a jug filled with the same liquid in case they needed a refill. Without saying anything else, Sanji sat down on the chair next to Zoro, but not before placing a bottle on the table in front of the swordsman. Sake? Sake? The man asked in surprise and looked at Sanji, who was just about to turn his attention to his food. He just smiled and shoved a forkful of rice into his mouth. He hadn't even begun to think about answering him. He would understand, and Zoro did. It was Sanji's way of showing him that he was thinking of him, even without talking to him. Without asking what Zoro wanted, the Smudgy knew. And the sake wasn't really anything special now. Everyone knew that Zoro would never refuse this kind of alcohol, but still it was the thought that counted. Zoro and Sanji ate in silence while war almost broke out because Luffy once again couldn't keep his fingers to himself. But that didn't really bother the two of them as this jellyhead didn't grab at their food. They preferred to enjoy the closeness to each other and the random touches and glances at each other. They preferred being together, or they enjoyed being together. Was this actually... When was this?
No, they fucking hate each other.
Well, no. They have a thing at the bottom here. I think they wrote this in 2012.
2012?
Yeah, it says 25/03/2012. I'm assuming it's May 25th, 2012. But it didn't get uploaded until October 29th, 2024.
Hold up, you said 25/03/12. Wouldn't that have been 2025?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which also, that's not the common American way of writing dates. So this person might not speak English as a first language. That might be why they're using like weird ass like phrases. I'm wondering if English isn't this person's first language.
I can see that.
Definitely possible.
The rubber man.
The rubber man. One comment. Nice. Oh yeah, their name is a German name. Oh yeah, here you go. A story about the approach... Okay, here we go. Notes. All my stories have been translated from German to English since English is not my native language. Translation errors may occur, but I hope they are not too serious. If you notice any, feel free to tell me. Have fun. So this is translated. This is machine translated specifically from German to English. Well, what do you think of that? I know you said it's not realistic, but what else did you think?
I'm stupid. No,
because why?
Oh, my bad. I was eating some ice cream. Well, one, obviously, they fell in love, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't know when or how it happened. Like, bro, that's literally just like that's just. I'm sorry, but that's just bad writing.
Well, I
Like,
can
I know it's a
understand, like,
fanfic.
yeah.
No, because I understand it's a fanfic, but they fucking hate each other in the series. So
Yeah.
you would think the author would think of something to at least something like relatively realistic to the series to make a connection like that happen, but nope.
Well, if this really was written in 2012, that's pretty common for like older fan fictions to just kind of do shit. Like they just smush characters together because they just wanted the Yuri or the Yaoi or whatever. They didn't really care about the story, which is weird because you're writing a story.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of falls into the same thing of like, porn without plot or whatever, or porn with plot, I guess. I think it kind of falls into that same category. This one doesn't, obviously. It doesn't go that far. But romance without plot, I guess. Or romance first, plot second. You were right, though. This person seems to have a very strong dislike of Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my thought is,
Couldn't
like,
keep his hands to himself. Like,
which I think he meant that in the sense that he was, like, grabbing other people's food. Because that's what it read like.
no, because it talked about a war, though. It talked about something about Luke starting a war because he couldn't keep his hands to himself.
Yeah, but I think it was about food, because then they said further down, they said, this didn't really bother the two of them as long as this jellyhead didn't grab at their food as well.
Yeah.
So I think they were saying he was stealing people's food. But, like, my thought on it is, like, if you don't like Luffy, which, again, I've never really watched the show or read the manga, so I don't know, but it's the same thing with other characters. Like, I've seen this in other fan fictions before, where somebody, like, really dislikes a character and just kind of shits on them. And it's like, this is a fan fiction, right? You don't have to put that character in there. Like, you shouldn't, like, kick him out of the story, but if they don't need to be... Because Luffy didn't need to be in this story. Like, I don't think Luffy needed to be in this story at all. It could have literally just been Zoro sleeping, Sanji coming over and, like, waking him up and telling him that dinner's ready. And that could have been the end of it.
Yes, we're Enfielders. You're wounded.
And then had their thoughts or whatever. Like, you could, if you wanted the yaoi or whatever. Like, you didn't even have to... I guess maybe it's just because Luffy is the main character, everybody thinks they have to include him in their stories.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always had the idea that if you're just going to character assassinate, which I guess technically they're character assassinating Sanji and Zoro.
It's in there good, baby.
But
Glad you like it.
I'm of the opinion that what? What'd you say?
I shut that my mic is muted.
Oh.
You can keep talking though.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that if you don't like a character and all you're gonna do is just character assassinate him by putting him in your story, or maybe not even character assassinate, but make them look bad, you just don't include them if they don't need to be there. There's no point in it. Like, I think I was with Chonch and Ian the other night, and we were looking at some, maybe, I think it wasn't My Hero, Chonch? Didn't we look that up?
It was.
Yeah. And there was
I started with Cat Cafe, and that just became a tag.
Oh, you're right. But there was like one that had something to do with, I remember, like, it's that fucking stupid little ball character from My Hero, the little purple guy, Mineta or whatever. The one that everyone hates.
Purple Pedo.
Yeah, it's Mineta.
Yeah. And, like, they're like, oh, in this story there's Minoru meta bashing. And I'm looking at the story thing, and I'm like, well, why is he even in the story? Like, he did not need to be in the story. I don't like the character. I mean, I want the little bit of My Hero that I watched in high school, like the 2 seasons or whatever I watched. I hated him. He was a fuckhead. But, like, I feel like that's besides the point. Like, if you don't like a character, and all you're gonna do is just shit on him, or character assassinate, don't include him if they don't need to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I've always viewed it with fan fiction. It's so odd to me because, like, I remember my my friend's mom was into fan fiction. You guys know what friend, or you know what friend I'm talking about. But and she would read like
I
meant Nico. I'll tell you later. But she would read like Harry Potter fan fiction. I remember there was one she was reading. She was telling us about. And like she's telling me and my friend about. And it was like, for some reason, the person that wrote it was just shitting on Ron. You guys know the redheaded kid that's like friends with Harry?
Yeah.
Just fucking shitting on Ron for no reason. And like the story was, I mean, Ron had to be in the story because it was so long and it was like a rewrite of Harry Potter. But it's like I guess it was some rewrite or something. But I'm like, if it's a rewrite, first of all, why would you just write it so just make Ron a more minor character? Like, if you don't like Ron, if you don't like, because I think it was supposed to be like a rewrite of the first like 2 movies where they're like still kind of kids, you know, they're like in that like tween era.
Yeah.
And like, I know Ron, I mean, in the movies, Ron is important. You know, he's there. He's Harry's friend, best friend, and everything. But, like, if you don't like Ron, and you're rewriting the movies anyways, either A, get rid of him, or B, make him a less popular, like, make him a minor character. Don't, just give him less screen time. But she said, no, specifically what was happening was they were hold on. Give me a sec. Hold on.
Harry Potter fanfic.
That's right.
And then
yeah, I just don't see a reason. Yeah, they just had Ron, like they rewrote the whole story as normal, but Ron was just getting shit on for no reason. And I'm like, I don't really know why you do that. Like, if you don't like the character, just make him less, you know, necessary to the plot so you can slowly write him out if you don't like him. There's no point in keeping the character around just to shit on him, unless you have a specifically, like, very heavy hatred of them, I guess. I mean, I guess fanfictions are whatever you want to write. So if you really dislike the character, then I guess fair enough. Like, you want to write a fanfiction just to shit on this one character. You know, whatever. I don't personally understand it, but, you know, I'm also not somebody that writes fan fictions.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know. If I wrote a fan fiction, I get, you know, I understand why some people write it when they, you know, just don't like how the writer might have done a story. Like, you know, say they didn't fucking utilize a character to their full potential, or, you know, they just did like a really rushed or just bad story or ending at whatever part.
Yeah.
But, like, rewriting a whole story, it's like, do you like the story that much you wanna, like, I guess, like, make, like, a parallel universe kind of story thing, like Otherworld Tale, which is, like, do you like the story, or do you like the world and the author's characters, but not their actual story? You know?
Yeah. You know, I've also seen, in some aspects, I've seen people literally hate a story so much that they rewrite it, like beat by beat, the whole thing. I saw that happen with High Guardian Spice. Do you kind of remember that show existing?
No.
I think I told you about it, though. It was basically like a really like obscenely generic magical girl show in a fantasy world, and like it was made by a Western. It was that one anime that was made by a Western studio that everyone got mad at Crunchyroll for.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and it came out, or the first season came out. It was really, really bad, like comically bad. And so people like made it their life's mission to write a proper story out of that world. Maybe as like catharsis or something, I don't know. And or like just spite. I'm not really sure. But some people really hate stories so much that they will just go in and rewrite the entire thing because the original was so bad in their eyes. But I feel like even in that situation, because I remember there was a guy on YouTube I was watching that rewrote the entire thing. Or like was talking about how he would rework the entire story in like every episode. And there were certain things he just like characters he didn't like. But he wasn't like, oh, well, we should just shit on these characters. Like, we should write a story, like, we should have a scene where this character just gets fucking killed. He was like, you know what would be better if this character just wasn't in the story. And he's like, that's all I'm going to do. If I rewrite it, or I'm rewriting it, and this character's just not going to be in the story. Because they don't add anything. Which I think makes sense. I think that's fair. Personally, anyways, I think that's fair. I think that's a good mindset to take. Because really, if you believe a character is a detriment to a story, and that they add nothing, then it would probably be better if you just cut them from the story. Or made them a very, very minor character that never shows up.
Yeah.
Like that's how I view it. Because I remember I watched somebody review every episode of that show just because I'm a natural-born D1 pick, league hater, you know? Professional pro league hater. And there were certain characters that, like, did nothing in the show. They had no purpose. But they had multiple scenes in several different episodes dedicated to them. And it was just... And then one of the main characters was completely, like, sidelined very early on in the show. Like, I think after episode 2, maybe, they were sidelined. And it's like, you know... If you don't like that main character, or you don't think that their story is that interesting, that you would finish their entire story arc in one episode, and then have them just sort of exist for the rest of the show, just cut them. Cut them out. Or make them change their story, change their backstory. And
yeah,
I personally believe this is like a problem with fan fiction writers and with like it's a my thought is the problem that I always have when reading stories like that is because you can tell when the person who's writing it cares more about the characters that they've built, like their OCs or whatever, than about the actual story. Like, you can tell.
Yeah.
Because what'll happen is you'll get the people that they make their characters and they think about them for like years and years, and they think about all these different things that their characters do. And I'm not saying that they have favorites. I'm sure some of them view all their characters equally, but like a lot of them, they have favorites of their OCs. And
yeah,
they put them in like this, they draw fan art of their characters, or not fan art, but they draw art of their characters. They do like little snippet stories of their characters. And it's like, that's fine. That's okay. But also, the thing is, it's a case of like kill your darlings, which is a literary term a novelist will use, where they say like basically, if your character's death will serve to make the story better than if they kept living, then kill them. Like, don't hold on to a character just because you like them as the author. If it's detrimental to your story. Which I think, from what I watched with that High Guardian Spy show, I think there were several Kill Your Darling instances that should have happened before the story even got like off the ground and produced. I think several of those characters should have just been cut out immediately. Like, they just shouldn't have been in the story. It was all just very, like, half-baked and rushed and kind of tacked together. That's what it felt like. Because it felt like they didn't really... Like, the person who wrote it, you can tell, didn't really have a world for these characters to exist in. Or a story for them to act out. They had characters, and they built a world around the characters, which is never the way you're supposed to do it. That is never the proper way to write a story. I'm sure somebody could argue that it's a good way to write a story, but I believe it's not. I believe you should write a story and then have characters act out that story. The world should affect the characters more than the characters affect the world, in my mind. At least at the beginning. Obviously, if you're writing something fairly grand and epic, where they're like fighting dragons or like a necromancer army or some shit, or like taking over the world, then the character can affect the world more. Like, that makes sense, but the world has to affect the character first before the character can affect the world. It can't be static, I guess. Which is what it felt like in that show. It just felt like the world existed to cater to the characters, which is not... doesn't lead to interesting story. Like, I think it should have been that, the one character... there was one character, is the one that, like, lost her arc really early on. Like, her arc ended super early. And, I think that she should have probably been reworked. Because later on, there's a whole thing where, like, these guys are trying to kill the main characters or whatever. I think it would have worked a lot better if, like, that arc continued where her parents didn't approve of her being an adventurer or whatever, and all this shit. And then, like, her parents end up dying in the attack that these terrorists let loose. And that could be, like, a wake-up call for her, like, it could lead to doubt, because it's like, oh, well, is me being an adventurer what got my parents killed? Or something like that? Or, like, got one of my parents killed or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that would lead to a lot more interesting story dynamics. Because it could have been like, oh, well, my mom approves, but my dad hates the idea. And he doesn't want me to do it. And then your dad ends up, like, sacrificing himself for you or something. Like, because he sees, like, oh, my daughter's about to get killed by a terrorist. I gotta save her. And then he does that, and then he dies. And I think it would be even more impactful if he died without, like, saying that he approves of her being an adventurer or something, or just says, like, I love you, and then dies. Because then it leaves them with, like, a level of doubt. There's a level of reasonable doubt there of whether or not, your dad viewed it as your fault that he got killed.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's my thought. And so I just think a lot of people, they build these OCs, and then they don't build a world for them to inhabit that actually affects them in any way.
Yeah, because part of the issue is that these OCs are literally their self-inserts.
Yeah. Or they've just had them for so long, like they've thought about them for so long and drawn them for so long and determined their personalities for so long and put them on such a pedestal in their own minds that when it comes time to actually put them in a story where they could be affected by the world around them, it, like, throws away the illusion of the pedestal, and then they can't, like, let go of it. They can't be like, oh, well, if I let my character look shitty here, it'll serve the story later better. Like, I think a good example of that is that Has-Been Hotel show. Because, like, the main character there's thousands of commentaries and reviews about this show. online. And the main character kind of just doesn't have an arc. Like, she just kind of is static. She doesn't seem to have any, like, agency. And she just kind of does stuff to do stuff. Like, she doesn't change, she doesn't develop. And I think that's not because she can't, or it's not because she was designed to do that. I think it's because the author already developed her in her own head and isn't thinking about the fact that everyone else didn't get to see what was going on in her head for the last 10 years. Like, I don't know if the character got developed because I'm not in fucking Vivian Madrano's head. Like, how am I supposed to know what character beats she's fallen through or gone through in Vivian Madrano's skull? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, if I'm just sitting down to watch the show, then there's not really anything there for people. And the same thing goes with, like, her aura farming characters. Like that Alistair guy, the one that everyone always talks about. He's just kind of a dipshit. He's just kind of a fucking dick. And he's not really, like, scary. Like, they're like, oh, the aura, bro, the aura. It's like, he's not really that scary. He's also kind of stupid. Like, just as a concept, he's kind of stupid. Because, like, they show, I think it's in the second season, there's, like, this whole thing where, like, he's playing 5D chess, guys. He's playing 5D chess. And it's like, yeah, but he's not really. It's just that every other character lost 80 IQ points between now and last season.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not playing 5D chess. He's playing regular chess, but everybody else opted to play fucking checkers with half the pieces missing. like it's not that fucking he's super smart. It's that everyone else became retarded. All I was saying is you've got
how many minutes?
All I was saying is you've got the opposite issue too, where it's like, you get people that are really, really good at world. Like, you have the people that are really good at character building and really shitty at world building, like Vivian Madrano. Then you've got the opposite, where it's people that are really, really good at world building. They love world building. Their world is so detailed. Everything's so, like, immersive and impressive. But then the characters are flat as fuck and they're boring and they can't do anything. Because the characters exist to cater to the world. Well, if you have something in your world, like if your world's super intricate and detailed, and you love this world the way it is, you're not gonna want characters that will change the world, because that would change the thing you like. It's the same thing as it's like the opposite side of the coin. So you see, like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, like, if you have, like, you have, like, a warrior culture that exists in your world that's on an island, and it's super interesting and immersive. You have a whole religion form and everything, and, like, cultural practices, festivals, all this stuff. And then the characters come in and they fucking burn down the capital city of the island. Well, that's gonna fucking devastate this warrior culture. And you don't want them to do that. Like, you don't want them to devastate them. But for the story purpose, they have to. And it's like, to make the story make sense, they have to do this. And so then the world then they somehow work it out to where the characters don't, like, they destroy the city, but the city doesn't actually get destroyed, and nobody was actually in the city, so everybody's fine. And the warrior culture persists in perpetuity the way it has for the last 1,000 years. And
One Piece kind of be doing that. I was watching a video about it the other day, and I was basically talking about how... So some dude used to be a fan of it, but one of his issues with it is that for the good guys, there's basically, like, no real-world consequences. Like, most characters don't actually die. The ones that do are only used to further the plot. You know, the story repeats, or basically has a cycle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying, because I like One Piece, but yeah, that is something that's annoying, too.
Well, and something as long and as expansive as One Piece, it's gonna happen. That's just how it is. Like, there's no way to not have One Piece. There's no way to keep One Piece fresh for that long. I'm not saying it can't be fresh. I'm just saying it can't be kept fresh for every single new arc. Like, some arcs are just going to look like repetitions of old ones. Like, that's just... I think that's how a story that's that fucking long goes. And, you know, love it or hate it, that's just how it is. But, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, like... I mean, I don't like either side, obviously. I would say I prefer the side that has better world building and worse character, because at least then I can be kind of interested in the world. And I feel like you can still make a story like that work, like a very alive world with a ton of stuff going on that's super immersive and, like, very thought out. You can still make that work, but you have to lower the stakes of the story. If you know, you're not willing to compromise on, like, certain features of the world being changed for your story, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not willing to compromise on, like, the world changing a bunch, then write a smaller scale story in that world. You need to write something that's got low stakes, is not super, like, expansive. Like, you could write I don't know, like a murder mystery with, like, a evil sorcerer over, like, one town or city somewhere in the world. And, like, the characters have to figure out how to kill this guy or something, or get rid of this sorcerer. Like, it could be that. And that's the entire story. That's it. And, you know, it never leaves the city, never enters the rest of the world. You can throw snippets and references and things like that in, but it doesn't change anything. But the stakes are still there for the characters. But I think that's a balancing issue, is what a lot of writers have. Really, I think the main problem, and this is the main problem with writers, is a lot of them don't actually want to tell a story. Like, there's no story that they want to tell.
Yeah.
Like, they have this world that they like, that they made, or they have these characters that they like and they made, or they have this idea of a concept of a world that they like, and how the characters kind of vaguely fit into it. But they don't actually have a story. They might have several stories that they all like equally, or they might have several stories that are all very vague and kind of loosely interconnected, but they also don't seem to want to tell, like, one story. I'm not sure, I mean, obviously I'm not in the heads of older authors, like, from back in the day, but I would assume a lot of them probably went into story writing with the thought of writing a story first.
Yeah.
Like, that's the primary goal, is writing a story, rather than all this other junk. Like, the characters come, like, the story is thought of. They want to tell a story. They think of concepts for the story. They think of a world that works in those concepts, and they think of characters that work in that world. That's how I view the writing process. I think that's how most people should view it. Like, you want to tell a very specific story. Maybe not even specific, but you want to tell a story first, rather than talking about your characters. Because it feels like, with a lot of modern writers, it's that they want to yap about their characters, or they want to yap about their world building or their world that they built, but they don't actually want to tell a story.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big problem. And I've seen several different, like, videos of people talking about how, oh, fan fiction is ruining modern literature. I don't think that's true. I think it's probably more so people just don't have the same drive to write a story anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people, they don't have the conviction to write a story. They might like, you know, making characters as a hobby or world building as a hobby, but they don't actually... The process of story itself, I think, is lost to a lot of people. Like they don't care about it. It's not. It's because writing a story requires sacrifices. Because sure, you're writing it for yourself, and this might be where they come up with the fan fiction thing being like a ruination of modern literature. Is that people that write fan fictions usually write them for themselves or maybe for them and their friends, like very very small audience, and then they don't care what anyone else thinks. And so then they go into the publishing industry or the book industry and continue writing stories in the same manner of, well, I'm just writing it for myself. It's like, yeah, but you're not. That's not what you're writing it for. You want to share your story. You want your story to grow. But the thing is, you're being a fucking neurotic narcissist that can't get out of their own head and realize that the wider audience probably doesn't give a shit about this super niche thing that you came up with when you were 12. If you don't make it interesting, you're interested in it because you've been thinking about it for the last 10 years. They're not going to be interested in it unless you make it interesting to them. Like if you make your autistic hyperfixation story interesting to wider audiences, they'll probably read or listen or watch. But if you don't, then they're not going to care. I think that's the biggest thing. Also, just the nicheness of the internet doesn't help either. Like the wide, spread out, sort of secular, sectioned off nature of the internet does not help books gain popularity like they used to.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that's why you have Book Talk, and why you have Wattpad fanfiction, or AO3 fanfiction, or fanfiction.net fanfiction. That's why you have, like, literary magazines. That's why you have, like, Goodreads, which is like a book reviewing site. That's why you have Amazon. Like, all these different sites and forums and shit all have different opinions on what the best genres are, what the meta for a genre is, what a genre should look like. And it's very, if you don't, you gotta just like pick one. And then if you pick one, you're kind of, I guess, cordoned off from all the other ones. Unless you go out and actively look for them. When it used to be, you just go to a bookstore and whatever the best seller is what you grab to read.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's about all I have to say on that topic. I don't know if you had anything else. Nico, anything?
I think authors, they just write their fucking main characters to be, I'm not gonna say all of them, but I don't know, you know how people say that, well, not people say, but it's just the truth when it comes to writing, but most of the time a character is are inspired from like some part of the authors.
Yeah, they're either inspired from the authors or somebody the author knows. I mean, people write what they know.
Yeah. So I think that's, part of the reason why they would rather sacrifice the story's quality over their character. Especially, like, if you've been writing something for so long or planning it for so long. And you gotta kill off that character, it's kind of hard for them since they become attached and it's basically like a person to them.
Yeah.
It's their freaking, for some of them it's their life's work.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. That's an optimistic way to look at it. I like that. I mean, I understand what you're saying. And I would agree that that's probably the main idea behind a lot of it is they feel like it's a personal betrayal to themselves if they, harm the character that's based off of them. I mean, you see that with like isekai and stuff. Like, all those people wrote what they know, and what they know is being a fat chud sitting in their one-bedroom apartment and then getting transported to a video game world with video game physics. Because that's all they know. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to end it there, I think.
Oh, no, but even then, it's like, if you're able to make a story, like, you're able to create a story, you can, literally write whatever. Especially if it's a fictional world. It's like, why make that character still a loser, you know?
I think it's because, they usually try to make them start out as... So, again, they're writing what they know. And I think what a lot of these people know is they're writing characters that start out as losers, like video game nerds that sit in their parents' basement or whatever, or their one-bedroom apartment, work at their dead-end job, and then they die and go to a fantasy world where they're like, they got super cool powers and are really cool. And I think to them it's like, that is cool to them. That thought is cool. Like, you look at a character like that, and like their personality doesn't really change, and they're still kind of like loser mentality. But these guys, because they are kind of, I don't want to say losers, because I'm not going to say anybody that makes like an actual full-on story like that, I wouldn't call them a loser. But anybody that, like, people that were in that view of like being kind of a fucking loner chud retard that just plays video games and like goes to work or goes to school and nothing else, they're kind of like that to them is like, that's the loser. And then once they go to this new world and they're exactly the same in every way, but they have really cool powers, so they save hot anime women, that's the Chad. That's the cool guy. It's like they're the same dude though. They really haven't developed at all. Like, they're still kind of losers, but in these people's minds, the ones writing it or the ones reading it, that is Chad. Like, that is cool. That is super cool behavior. Like, oh, the cool guy gets the girl. It's like the Revenge of the Nerds thing. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
It's like an old movie. It's that concept, I think. And so, like, to you, these characters would be losers. Like, no matter what. Unless they, like, started, pumping fucking iron and actually developing their personality. But to these guys, that's cool, because they don't actually want to have to develop their personalities. And they probably don't even think personality matters that much. Because they don't have one. So they're just like, oh, well, what the fuck do I need a personality for? Because they think they have one, but they don't. They're NPCs. Or they're just boring. That too. They could just be boring. I think there's a lot more boring people in this world than people actually realize. And I don't even mean in the sense of like, oh, well, you think my hobby's boring, but I think it's interesting. I mean people that are genuinely just boring. Like, I think there's a lot of people that genuinely just have, like, no hobbies. Or, like, don't do anything with their time or don't exercise their brain or personality. Because, I was saying that the other day. You gotta exercise your brain and your personality. Those are still, like, they're not real muscles, but I guess the brain's a real organ. But you know what I mean. You still have to exercise them. You still have to practice. You still have to, flex them a little bit sometimes. Otherwise, they will atrophy. Yeah. And a lot of people don't do that. Like, I think a great example is, like, those stupid-ass Fruit Love Island videos, the AI ones?
Yeah.
I see so many videos, and I'm not saying these people are all serious. They might be bait. I don't know. But I'm seeing so many videos of people genuinely invested in this shit. Genuinely. And it's like, I was curious because I was like, oh, well, is this like really that interesting? I didn't watch it from the main channel. I watched I watched a re-upload. But I watched a re-upload of one of these episodes, like right in the middle of like one of those seasons in quotations or whatever it is. I watched one, and it was just slop. There was nothing to it. It's slop. There's nothing actually there. And, you know, I'm not saying that all of these people are boring, because they might have 12 trillion different super interesting cool hobbies that they do outside of watching the Fruit Love Island AI videos. And that's just what they post about. But like, it's the same people that watched reality TV like 15 years ago when that was huge. They're just kind of fucking boring. Like, they just don't really have anything going on. Because, like, why would you... I mean, I'm not saying you can never watch it, but if you watch it regularly, if that's what you... Like, if that is your hobby, that is a... In my mind, if something like that is your hobby, or, like, something like Harry Potter is your hobby, or another... Like, franchises are not hobbies. That's my thought. Like, that's where I end that thought. Franchises are not hobbies. You can have a hobby that involves a franchise, like if you make figures of characters, or write fan fiction, or cosplay, or something like that. Those are hobbies. And they might involve those, they might be centered around one franchise, or fandom, but they're not, the fandom itself and the franchise itself is not a hobby. And I think people that take those things and make them part of their personalities are the most boring motherfuckers on earth. That's where I'm ending that. I got nothing else to say on it.
When was the last time y'all had zucchini bread?
That's a great question. When is the last time I had zucchini bread? Probably like...
I keep seeing all of it.
Probably like 3 years ago.
Go on. 3?
Yeah, maybe 2. It was probably like 2 years ago. Why?
You know,
I keep seeing all this posts about banana bread and peach cobbler cheesecake and other delicious snacks, and I started thinking, man, when was the last time I had a good loaf of zucchini bread? Something that wasn't dry.
My grandma makes really good zucchini bread, but she prefers making banana bread, so she usually makes that. But
I love banana bread. You know what bread I also love?
what?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin? I don't like pumpkin bread, actually. Not a huge fan. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite thing.
You know what I don't like?
What?
Kingdom Come Deliverance. I can't stand this game, dude. I fucking hate it.
You're still playing it? I thought you were done for the day.
You know, never give up, never what.
I think you
but
said,
no, for real,
I think you said it the wrong way.
What do you mean? It's never give up, never what?
I thought it was never back down, never what, and then it was never give up.
Oh, yeah. Never back down, never what? Right. Bro, this game is just ass, dude. Like, you'll try to run past an enemy, but then you'll, like, fucking turn around and fucking... Oh, my God, dude. This game is so fucking terrible.